app as we welcome in Inner City. Is that what you're rocking? Honor the gift?
Yeah.
Look at that. Trysta just went from number 1 on the power rankings to number 1 on the power rankings. I see you, Trysta. More.
Can I just say about that? So, like, when people will ask me, like, random YTs will ask me what it says on the T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I don't even know.
Fantastic.
I'll say, it's just a T-shirt.
I love this so much. More impressive, Bron or Brady? For context, we were talking about Carmelo, whether it's the Celtics or the Knicks or where he winds up for his 20th season, averaging 13.3 points per game. Very good last year, 37 years old. LeBron James entering his 20th season essentially led the league in scoring last year, averaging 30 points per game.
Yeah, I think it's so close, right? Because you're talking about the decline in the body in two different types of athletes. It's got to be Bron for me just because it's more physical. And, like, if you have a good offensive line, and I'm not saying that, like, Brady's dinking and dunking all the time, but he could if he wanted to, right? He's impressive, all the titles that he's had. But Bron's basically gotten better over time. It feels like the last 2 years when he's been healthy, he's been just as dominant. He's increased and put things into his game that he never had when he was young. Obviously, he doesn't play defense the same level that he did before. But, yeah, I mean, physically, he still goes – he's not, like, shying away from going into the lane.
All right. I mean, just what he's able to do, just getting up and down the court, running, jumping, dunking on people, playing 30 however many minutes a game, and still able to do that at this age when all his contemporaries, all his peers from that time some are long gone, some are gone, a few years. Melo's feels like the last one hanging on and trying to play at the NBA level. And even he's like hanging on, averaging 13 a night and coming off somebody's bench. Like LeBron is still trying to carry a franchise and like Damian talked about, almost leading the league in scoring last year.
Yeah. Did you guys see that SI article where he's like, just not only do I now want to play with Bronny, I've increased my range to Bryce as well. There's and I don't know if you saw where they were like asking him, well, do you think this puts a lot of pressure on Bronny? And he was like, I don't care what anyone says. And he goes off into this whole diatribe. I don't know if you guys saw the quote, but he compared fans. He compared fans and fan criticism. And he's like, there's always going to be 50% of the people out there that love you and 50% of the people out there that hate you. It's like a Starbucks barista. And 50% of people are not going to like how you made their chai tea latte. And I was like, hold up.
That's a spectacular analogy.
What is he talking about?
Where are you going? So I'm driving up to New York today, and I stop because I don't like to use the bathroom in gas stations. I always try to find a Starbucks. So I'm standing in line to buy like an iced tea, and I'm just thinking about this analogy. And I was like, yeah, it's exactly like LeBron James, almost 38 years old, exactly like a barista making chai tea latte. Same thing. Exactly.
Did you tell the person who made your iced tea you're on the good 50% or the bad 50%?
And that part is crazy too, right? Like, because if we're honest, people don't care that much about other humans, right? Like, you have to really be feeling some kind of way to really hate someone, right? It's almost flattery. Like, most people are indifferent. Most people are caring about their own lives. They're like, nice guy. Like, Kenny, D'Lo, they'll meet you guys out. And they're like, yeah, good dude. But back to my life, right? For me to be like, I'm either in love or I hate, that is the only two options. It's A, B, not anything in between. It's wild.
I think it's accurate though. For LeBron, I think it's accurate, but it's probably no. I disagree. I don't think people are indifferent to LeBron James.
No, but I think it's 50-50.
But it's not like I either think LeBron does no wrong or I can't stand his guts. It's like he's elite at so many things, does amazing things for the community, one of the best that's ever done it, but also kind of corny. Also an attention hoe. Like, also you can be this and that and not be like, well, you're either for me or you're against me.
Yeah. No, I also think I believe there's more love for LeBron than there is hate. It doesn't feel that way because of Twitter and Instagram comments. Like on those platforms, it's
or there are people who literally make like $8 million a year to trash LeBron for an hour on their talk show.
That part too. But even that isn't like, you take that prism. That's not even 50-50. That's like 90% of the people are talking about how great he is. And then you got this 10% over here that talking about he's trash. But they're loud, and that's the one we always see. So it feels like, damn, they always hating on LeBron. No, it's like one or two people. You know, everybody else,
loud.
To Trista's point, is either indifferent or they acknowledge who he is. But I think for the most part, people got love for Bron. I think for the most part, people would like to see him play with Bronny and Bron, and they or Bronny and Bryce. They think that's pretty cool.
He's gonna hold up the entire league. He's gonna hold it hostage for two guys that may not even be league worthy. That's amazing. It's amazing. I did a whole thing about, because he was like, yeah, you know, Bronny's not. You see the rumors that he's going to Oregon. I promise you, as soon as Bronny knows where he's going, he will release it. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be Game 7 of the finals, halftime. He's going to just be like, yeah, guys, hey, what's up? It's Bronny James, just live here on Instagram. Just watching Jason Tatum. Love Jason. Great. I love his game. You know the thing I really love about him? Just really that Duke in his blood. I was just randomly thinking, I'm going to Duke. And he's like, I've got the LeBronny James Duke shoe. It's coming out. Get on the sneaker app. And it's like, that's them. Like, that's them.
On the sneakers app.
So I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. You don't have the Lakers in the NBA Finals, then?
No.
Nah, I know Lakers in the finals this year.
There's gonna be a whole strategy, a calendar of this. There's gonna be a rollout.
He does not. He's very similar to Tiger Woods in the sense, like, he doesn't do anything without purpose. Everything he does is with purpose. Everything, every tweet, every appearance, everything he said, it's all with purpose.
So when he was walking around with books that he never read,
he wanted you to believe that when I'm telling you, when he said the plight of the Negro, I was done. I was done. Like, bro, what have you learned from Malcolm X? Oh, it's just the plight of the Negro and everything. Bro, what?
And then he did the Sarah Palin. They're like, oh, you've watched Godfather? Love Godfather.
No, that was crazy.
What's your favorite quote?
Watched it all weekend.
All of them. I can't choose one. They're all so good.
No, just one.
Just one. Yeah, no, I can't. They're all right up. They're all top for me.
Oh man, he's the GIF or collection of pictures out there of LeBron on page 1 of a book is just, and like who's like, what type of bike riding are you doing that you're reading the autobiography of Malcolm X?
Right.
Yes.
What? Like, Bron, work harder. What are you doing right now?
We need to go levels deep. Like, I would love to consult athletes on just like, let's just think a little smarter here, because we are on you. You know, like you said, people on Twitter, Instagram, we're zooming in. We're screenshotting. We're zooming into the background. Yeah. What page do you think he's in? Why is he always in the first page? Is there a bookmark in there? No.
I was on the Peloton. I was on a Peloton last night with Jess King, and the last thing I was thinking about was a book that I should be reading while I'm on this Peloton. No, it's not It's not what we're doing here.
Congratulations to Jess King. Jess King's going to have a baby.
She is, man. She is. Big ups to her.
And condolences. The 49ers have waived running back Trey Sermon. We thought he made it. He did not.
That's bad. I thought cut day had come and gone.
It not for Trey. We were looking at, like, they kept 5 running backs. They let Jermichael Hasty go, and okay, they're going to give Trey another chance. They, in fact, are not. 49ers have waived Trey Sermon. I don't think he'll clear waivers. I think he'll get picked up.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't. I need to see something from him, man. I need to see something from him.
He might clear waivers.
Because we have not talked about this. The last time I was with y'all, it had not happened yet. So for me and my edification, so I don't have to go back digging into the archives, Jimmy G, the best, most expensive backup. Are you high on this move? Are you neutral on this move? Are you low on this move?
Me personally, high would be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'm good with it. It's a little more than neutral, because one of the things that got me, Trysta, I talked about it on the show, and I'll mention it to you, is when you look at what they have in that quarterback room, you got a lot of fringe NFL players when you talk about Sudfeld and Purdy, and guys who haven't played football at the NFL level much at all. Purdy's a rookie. Sudfeld been there 1 year. And I kept saying, well, who's going to be Trey's big homie? Now, that could be Garoppolo. That could be Fitzpatrick if he was around, somebody like that. But somebody, I do believe you kind of need somebody on that quarterback position. When something happened in the game, you come to the sidelines, and a quarterback that would say, I know this is, how coach drew it up, and this is what we want to do. But remember, when this guy comes here, this is kind of what we're looking for. They see it from the quarterback's eyes who's been on that field, and they didn't have that at all. And they didn't have good young players. It'd be one thing if, like, the guy behind Trey was good but inexperienced. All right, you roll the dice. These guys are fringe NFL players. So you get Jimmy in there, make no bones about it. Trey is still QB1. It would have to be a complete catastrophe for 5-6 weeks for Shanahan to leave Trey and go to Jimmy. So that's not really a concern. And Jimmy is a high quality backup just in case things go bad. Then when I say go bad, I'm talking about injury wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I can't figure out is who's this better for, the 49ers or Jimmy Garoppolo? Because I feel like they both win with this.
Yeah.
It's a great situation for the 49ers to have Jimmy Garoppolo there in case anything happens to Trey Lance. And it's a great situation for Jimmy Garoppolo because there was nothing out there for him. Mm-hmm. And we there were all the reports about Seattle and some of these different places. And the one thing that we settled on, if there's one person who knows what the market was for Jimmy Garoppolo, it's his agent. And his agent would have advised him all of the way on what to do with this. If Seattle was if you were the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks for $6 to $8 million, he would be the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks for $6 to $8 million.
Trysta, look like you froze a little bit.
That clearly wasn't realistic.
Am I frozen?
No. Jamie made a great point, and the internet got him out there in Roseville.
I don't think the internet got me, player. I think the internet got you.
I don't know. Me and Trysta were good.
Everything's not frozen on my side.
Okay.
Trysta was moving. I was moving. It was poor Damien. But what'd you say, though? Because we didn't hear you.
No, I did. I did hear him.
Yeah, I don't think it was me.
Oh,
but that's fine. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. We're as Jesse says, we're fine.
We're fine. We're good now.
I think it's a great situation for both of them.
I agree, and I think that the one thing you can say is there is no other NFL team that if their franchise quarterback goes down with a traumatic, significant season-ending injury, you can still go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's happened. It almost happened again last year to the point where I was like, going away from Jimmy, he's had some success. So if something happens, God forbid, to Trey Lance, you're right there. You're just back smooth sailing.
Trysta, let me ask you this on that subject as well. What do you make of like the thought process that people have when they say, them bringing back Jimmy Garoppolo is a sign that they don't believe in Trey Lance. And the counter example to that, I would say, is John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, if they really believed in Trey Lance like 100%, would they be there sitting, hey, let's go get the sorriest quarterback we can to show everybody we believe in Trey? They wouldn't do that. They'd still be trying to get a quality backup regardless if they believed in him or not.
That's just like being like, oh, well, the Cowboys don't believe in Dak Prescott, so they went and got Andy Dalton. Like, Andy Dalton was a serviceable, middle-of-the-road quarterback for a very long time, made a Pro Bowl with Cincinnati, went to the playoffs. Like, he's a fine starter. Like, I think he's now, getting he's a backup somewhere else. I forget where he is, maybe Buffalo, I forget. So I don't like that, because you're feeling like, all right, well, this is just a hot take just for hot take's sake. It's like, oh, well, if I was Trey Lance, it's like, if you're Patrick Mahomes, you can't have Alex Smith around. It's like, well, if Alex Smith could be on a 1-year deal, and maybe you're worrying about Patrick Mahomes getting injured, maybe you would do that, you know? So to me, that was just kind of like a lazy take.
Agreed.
My thing was just kind of like, well, why was there all of those things in the news? It was like chess, not checkers. Because you were saying all of when Jimmy got his deal done, Jimmy ghosted the team. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, yeah, for weeks they were trying to get a hold of Jimmy Garoppolo. They couldn't. And I was like, I wonder why they're doing this. Are they trying to San Francisco trying to dry the market up for Jimmy Garoppolo to make him look like he's not a team guy, so that they can lower his value, so they can restructure a deal and they can keep him around the team anyway? That's just so happened what ended up happening.
Yeah, I absolutely think Kyle and John are responsible for all of that stuff, because it always seems to work out in their benefit. Always. But you know what? You know what the true confidence in a quarterback is? You talk about Andy Dalton. The true confidence is in a quarterback is when you keep one quarterback on your depth chart, and that's how much Jerry Jones believes in Dak Prescott. We don't need QB2 or QB3. It's Dak and Dak only. That's the ultimate sign.
And not only we believe in Dak Prescott so much, we are going to give him not 4, not 3, not 2 weapons, but just 1 weapon.
Did you ever get to the bottom of if a girl laughs at a man's joke, what that means? Did you ever get to the bottom?
I already know what it means as a woman.
Oh.
And I just wasn't going to answer that question.
We're gonna spill a little inside Odyssey tea. So I was on the phone. I was on the call with Memphis 929 ESPN, an Odyssey station. And they were asking me about Pete Davidson. And one of the hosts, who I know less, was like, so John thinks that the only reason that Kim Kardashian was with Pete Davidson is because he was funny. And I was like, no, that's not the case. And then it devolved into, oh, well, he also believes that if you're at the bar, and then he ends up saying it himself, if I'm at the bar with a stranger and she's laughing at my jokes, I'm in there. I'm in. And I'm like, or
it's a wild
joke. It's funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, for me, if I'm now in my head, I'm like, I've laughed at so many people's jokes that I had no intention of sleeping with. And they thought that they had the green light. We need to settle this. We need to settle this publicly. We need to settle this privately, because that is not a green light. That is just non-rude etiquette behavior. So if we go out and you guys are cracking jokes, I just want to let you guys know. That's not
monitoring Trysta's laugh meter.
That's a wild boy in Memphis. That's a wild boy right there. That's a wild boy. Wow.
41 and single. He's a wild dude.
I was like, what is going on here? No.
What did you see from my guys though? Because obviously you said you know what that means as a woman, but what were guys feeling the same way that he felt?
They said, well, it depends on if the joke was funny. If the joke wasn't funny and she's laughing, she's giving you the eyes. I'm like, no.
It's also relative, by the way.
Yeah, maybe you're not going to just put out your, it's like, I don't know what you guys would do. Would you guys go to the bar and be like, yeah, I'm going to intentionally seed some very not funny jokes, and see if she laughs at them instead of just being like, hey, why don't we go out? Like, it's much
Tristan,
easier.
I'm a grown ass man. I am not. I'm not doing that. I'm a grown ass man.
What kind of crazy little mind games are people playing out here? We're
Yeah,
making it way too hard out here on these streets.
yeah. That's why I'm out the streets.
It's why we in the house.
That's why I'm out the streets. It's cold
I
out
said
there.
the way that you know is she breaks the touch barrier often. Maybe she's putting her foot between. If you guys are at the little bar stool and she puts the foot between your feet, puts them on your bar stool, then touches you. Now you're at like a 3. Like, there's still hurdles to go depending on where she's at. There's
Is that
a threshold here, but the interest is higher than just laughing at you.
That's an IOI. You ever heard of that? An IOI, indicator of interest.
Yes, indicator, but it's not the end all be all, right? It's like, it's just a piece of evidence. If we're creating, like, we're in court and I'm presenting my case, these are just pieces of evidence. At the end of the day, it could still be not guilty or guilty, whatever way you want to look at it.
Well, thanks for jumping on with us. Have fun talking about Aaron Judge, I assume, for the next 10 hours over the next
I've got some top line takes if you guys want to hear them.
Well, I do want to hear, before we get to Aaron Judge, I mean, like I say all the time, Trysta, bet MGM tonight. She's got all your betting needs every single night with our guy Q. I want to know. I got some action this weekend.
All right, what do you got already? Because I have 3. I took some time out of my day, not prepping for the fan, prepping for Kenny. Really, prepping for Kenny. So I'm glad we got to use these because I spent some time. San Diego State is going to mollywop Arizona.
Arizona stinks.
Arizona had 1 win last year. They'll probably get 3 wins this year. San Diego State, I took the over on their win total. I believe it was 7.5. They got a brand new stadium. They're going to come out there and put the pounding on them.
Yeah.
And they've got pretty good defense. They can stop the run. They force a ton of turnovers. And again, like, there's just not a lot of talent on this Arizona team. So I took them. I believe the number is 6.5. It's under a touchdown. So I would take that at a touchdown or less. Oregon, Georgia.
Those are your boys. Those are your boys.
I can't take a side. As much as I did take a side, I can't give out a side, right? Like, my heart says take the 17.5 for Oregon. Well, and my brain says take the 17.5 for Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get hurt again. I do think, though, the under at 53 is in play. Two good defenses. You know, I don't think that Georgia lost a ton on defense, even though they did lose 7 guys to the NFL. That's a lot of dudes. Like, this was an all-time great defense. But they do get a ton back. They've got top recruiting class every year, especially on defense. And I think that you're going to have Dan Lanning coming in, trying to have a defensive mindset to out-scheme Kirby, right? And so I think it's going to take some time for these two teams to warm up. It could be 48-3. Georgia. I'm not saying that's out of the question, but I don't think 53 points for two teams that want to kind of live and die by their defense and have significant question marks on offense, whether that's with Bo Nix, whether that's with Stetson Bennett, the pieces that Oregon lost in the transfer portal with Travis Dye to USC. I know that Georgia lost some pieces. One of the guys Jermaine Burton ended up going to Alabama. So they've got some things to work out week 1. I like the under there. And then I also took the under in the Arkansas game, 52. We've got a lot going on there, right? Cincinnati lost a ton.
Straight up.
What'd you say?
I'm taking Arkansas and the points on that one too.
Yeah, I am too. I ended up wanting to buy it at 5.5 just for like safekeeping for my soul. But like, Cincinnati has a lot of problems, right? Like, they've lost a ton. They lost their quarterback. They lost their running back. They lost their wide receiver. They lost 2 All-Americans in the secondary. They lost 3 other guys on the defensive line. So this is a team that's lost a lot, not only defensively, which they should be still really good, but it's offensively. I think they're going to have trouble scoring. And Arkansas's got a real deal defense now, and they're at home. And it's going to be something else for Cincy to go to Arkansas. So, yeah, I took the under 52, Arkansas -5.5. Oregon, Georgia under 53, and San Diego State -6.5 over Arizona.
I love them all. One more before we get you out of here. I've been thinking about this for the last 3-4 days. I think I'm gonna go with Florida in the swamp
At night.
And I like Utah. I think they're legit. I think they're gonna win the Pac-12 or either them or SC. But that's a tough situation.
I've been thinking about it too. I ended up taking Utah just on the money line, and even that makes me nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Florida's no joke to play in, right? Like the swamp at night, and it's Utah. We know how Pac-12 teams do against SEC teams. Oregon's been eaten up alive multiple times against SEC teams in the beginning of a season, right? They can't. It's just a disparity in athleticism. It's a disparity in terms of what the playing environment's going to be like. So yeah, I would probably, if I was going to do anything on the Florida side, I would take them +3.5 just to feel safe. But they're live dogs. They could win this game.
Absolutely. Oregon beat Ohio State's ass.
Oh, you're funny. Okay. No, that's good. I'm glad you're funny.
What happened?
Trysta blew up the whole chat. You ruined virtually every guy and every dating guy in the chat right now. They are absolutely disheveled.
I think this is a real. Also, on the other side, if I'm cracking jokes, does not mean I'm interested either. That's another one. If I'm trying to make you laugh, it's because I have an unfillable well of insecurity where I want to be funny. So it has nothing to do with me wanting any intercourse with you.
I can relate greatly to the insecurities. That's fantastic. Thanks for making time for us. A lot of time for us. Have fun on WFAN.
Sorry, I got into his time.
Oh, no, it's Wednesday. Kyle's not here.
Oh,
you got time in the world.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll see you guys next Friday. Tune in if you guys have other things going on or you want to pop in between. I'll be on from 2 p.m. Eastern till 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's 11 to 4 Pacific time tomorrow and Friday on WFAN with another gentleman, Tommy Lugauer, talking about New York sports. I'm going to be spitting some fire takes. Take one, just as a tease, OBJ saying he wants to win a title for New York Giants is desperation. That is a money grab. He has no interest in doing that. And anyone who believes he actually wants to go back there because of sentimentality, I've got a lot of beachfront property to sell you in
I got a lot of jokes to laugh at. You believe that? I got a lot of jokes for you to laugh at.
You want to win a championship for the Giants on Madden? Not in real life.
He's like, G-Man, I want to come back. I want to win a championship.
Odell, stop this.
It's desperate. It's ugly. It's actually sad.
It's not good. We appreciate you, homie.
Come check us out. Love you guys. Thanks for making time for me.